All right. I call the Lake Mills Police and Fire Commission meeting to order, November 21st, 2024. It's 5 o'clock. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll take roll call here. Terry's excused. No word on Mike. So moving on to item number 4, the acceptance of the minutes from September 16th, 2024 special meeting. I've got a correction spelling of my last name in there, so we'll make that correction. Anybody see anything else they need to add, subtract, or? Okay.
No worries.
All right, hearing none, we'll accept those, and we'll go to the September 19th, 2024 regular meeting. Any issues with that? All right, we'll accept those minutes. Moving on to item number 5, Police Chief report.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief.
I wish I came with excellent news for you, but I don't come with really good news for you. Since our last meeting, we have begun and ended our background investigation on our 2 candidates for the K-9 handler position. The first one, as we were wrapping up the background, decided for family and other reasons that he could not take the position to make the move to Lake Mills, so he withdrew from the process. So then I was completing the background on the second candidate and almost at the end of it, and he too decided for family and personal reasons he could not make the move from his current agency. So that leaves me with no candidates left on the eligibility list. I requested permission per the PFC rules from City Manager Daly to fill the vacant position and begin another hiring process. So that I have done this week. Going back to the start and just hiring to fill the police officer position that we have vacant. Also know that we have another position that we will be filling with the budget approved that can be added in the summer of 2025. So my approach at this point is essentially to do an ongoing recruitment process and continue to accept applications. Once I have a number of applications that will that are qualified and that will be worth starting the interview process, I'll start the interview process internally and then schedule a date with the PFC for the PFC interview if we have candidates to move forward from that. So that is where we are at with our hiring process. We currently have the 1 vacancy. Good news is that Skylar DeBlair is doing well in the academy and he'll graduate on December 6th. The ceremony is actually on the evening of the 5th, so Lieutenant Whitty and I will attend that. And then he will begin his field training with us on December 9th. Still a while before he gets out on his own, but that's okay. We'll hold down the fort until then. It's really all I have to report. I guess one thing of note that I did a couple weeks ago is I met with representatives from each of the banks within the city of Lake Mills. We are seeing more and more frauds and scams where residents are falling victim to the tune of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the meeting was kind of a kickoff just to see what we can do to put all of our heads together as representatives from banks, as well as from the police department, and how we can try to educate and prevent people from being victimized on the front end, so we don't have to try to track down these criminals on the back end, especially when the vast majority of them are overseas and there's really little hope that we're going to be able to do that. So just something, initiative I'm starting. I'm going to start a social media campaign with just education. I ordered printed materials which arrived that we can hand out in some of our community events, and just continue to urge people to be mindful of what kind of things are out there, and more importantly to educate their loved ones and their friends, especially the elderly ones, because they're the ones that are being targeted, as an effort to just prevent these from happening in the first place. So that's all I have, unless there are questions.
So I can tell I'm getting old when I get those in my emails? Okay.
Chief, for the sake of possibly recruiting for that position, do you know the shift or anything at this point?
I can say with probably 90% certainty it would be a second shift position, but it would all depend on where the staffing sits at the time the person is ready to go out on their own. I have some discretion within the contract to assign them to a shift that I feel appropriate, at least initially. So if it were a new recruit who has no experience, they're going to go to second shift and get some experience. If they're an experienced lateral transfer, there's a possibility they may go to third shift if there's an opening on that shift.
Thanks.
Okay. On to item number 6, Fire Chief report. Chief?
Good evening. I'd like to say that there's not a lot going on in the fire department, but if you watch the news, you're going to start seeing us a little bit more frequently in the news as some townships are looking for some coverage and support. Outside of that, the staff at the fire department this first month, we've had a couple months where I didn't bring anybody forward, but we didn't really have any applicants. I shouldn't say we didn't have any applicants. So we're sitting with 40. We did have one person that did resign. It was Christopher Johnson. He started the fire program, and during that program, he realized it just was not for him. So he requested to resign from the department, which he submitted a letter of resignation to us. The other exciting thing is that the fire department is about ready to take acceptance of its new ladder. We were up at Appleton on Tuesday to view it and do some operational tests with it and go over the vehicle. We'll be working on implementing that once the vehicle comes. We're expecting it to make its arrival here in town probably the first or second week in December. That's all that I have.
I saw pictures. That's pretty cool.
It does. It looks really sharp. When we got to see it at first, and we took 10 minutes just to walk around it and look at it and get to view the different things that are on it. And then when the operational test, it really outperforms the standard of where we have been. It's a lot faster, a lot quicker, a lot easier for the individuals and members of the department to operate this.
It's exciting.
Maybe we should have the next meeting in the ladder. I mean, there's enough room, right? We can,
This one is cut down. It's only 4 seats versus 6, so.
okay, all right, well. We don't need to spend any more money on that parade. All right, Chief, thank you. Let's move on to item number 7, confirmation of Tyler Bostwick as regular firefighter.
Yeah, so Tyler is a member who is a bounce, as I kind of coin them, bounce back members. Tyler started several years back. During that time frame, he had some things come up in his personal life. At the time, he decided to step away under good terms, and he recently, obviously a year ago, came back, and he has completed. There was no training that he had to do because he did that already in his first probationary period. So this was just a technicality of doing 1 year as a probationary back in.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to accept Tyler Bostwick as a regular firefighter?
I will make a motion to accept Tyler as a regular firefighter.
Motion by Jen, second.
I second the motion.
Second by Laura. Roll call, Mike. Aye. Laura.
Aye.
Jen.
Aye.
Russ, aye. Welcome back, Tyler, wherever you are tonight. So, cool. All righty. Hearing nothing else, I'll adjourn the meeting at 17:09.